What's up YouTube? Georgia Silver Hunter back, and today we'll be doing a $500 box of Loomis wrapped quarters. I think these are Loomis. Yeah, they are Loomis wrapped rolls. As you can see, I have opened the box because we're in that time of year where I'm expected to get a lot of 2024 boxes. And as you can see in here, we do have some newer coins. I see a 2024D. I think it was right there. So we do have a good circulated box. I'm excited to get into it. We will be looking for the new 2024s. We'll be looking for errors, varieties, silver, West Point minted quarters, all kinds of goodies as we go through this thing. So if you like coin roll hunts, make sure you stay tuned. And if you're looking for a Cash 3 number, how about 117? It sounds good to me. So let's get into this box. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into one or two rolls together just to see what the coins are looking like inside of here. See if it's mainly new rolls or circulated. From the enders, it does look mainly circulated. And who knows, we might get lucky and find a little silver in these first couple of rolls. It's been a while since I have found a silver quarter. Not seeing anything in that one. As I said in the intro, we're looking for all manner of errors, varieties, San Francisco business strikes, proofs, you name it, I look for it. I do have a document in the description down below this video that you are welcome to download and use for your own coin roll hunts or follow along with this one as I find things. I also use the Strike It Rich with Pocket Change book, which I have, again, a link in the description down below for that book that I use for pictures, values, and to verify a lot of the things that I do find. All right, so I wanted to go ahead and just open up these first couple of rolls and edge hunt for silver. I'm not seeing anything. I'm just kind of spreading these out. I do see quite a number of shiny things. Like right here, I've got a 2024D, and it is the new Reverend Dr. Paulie Murray, I guess is how we say it. Looks like we have a Denver, so that's going to be a book filler. We've got the Patsy Takamoto 2024D. That's going to be a book filler. We've got a 2023D. This is the Jovita Edar, I think. I don't think I have the Denver on that either. So if you haven't been following the channel, I have done two full books of quarters from 1960. When is it? I can't remember. It's from 1964, I think, to current. And pretty much the only things I have left are my women's quarters. So anyway, I will get into those books towards the end of the video. But for now, it looks like I've got a handful of book, at least fillers or potentially upgrades. I'll throw those up here. I'll continue to go through these. If I find anything interesting, I'll be sure to bring you back in. So I went ahead and got through the first 10 rolls. I'm going to bring you in to show you all that I've pulled because it's quite a bit. As for our bicentennials, we've got two of the Denvers. I've checked them both for the double die obverse. Of course, they don't have them. It's been something, it's like my bucket list for coin roll hunting. I still never found one. I don't even know how many, maybe 10 or 12 of the Philadelphia bicentennials. And we've got a fair little number of either potential book upgrades or book fillers between the new 2024 Denvers, which I talked about in the opening. We found a bunch more of those. We've got three more of the Jovita Edars. I found a couple of Stunner Denver earlier. I think these are the America the Beautiful coins, or the National Park coins, sorry. And then I usually hang on to my 2009s, 10s, and 11s, and I've got a couple of those over there that look okay. They might be book upgrades. Either way, I hang on to them. But as far as our little errors, I have 6 here from the first 10 rolls. 3 of them are the same Marietta Tall Chief error. I've showcased this on lots and lots of other videos, but it is a die chip error right here in the, I don't know if this is the feathers from her cap, but this little hunk of metal right there is not supposed to be there. And we have 3 of those. I'll just pull another one so you can see this coin's a little bit nicer condition, but you can see they all have that kind of telltale die chip right there. We've also got one of the die crack. This is the Eleanor Roosevelt. I think it's the Philly. I think all these are Phillies. This one typically has a die chip over here on this side of the hat, which is also really easy to find these days. But this one actually has the crack that runs all the way down through her hat and into her forehead. And I've seen them where that crack actually comes all the way down here to her nose. But this one's pretty good, something I'll hang on to. And I'll talk about values of all these things at the end of the video. But we've got that one. We've got a die chip on the biplane. We find these pretty regularly too. So right here, you'll see we've got our die chip right here on the top of the biplane. Sometimes you'll find it down here. Sometimes you'll find it over here. And the value of these greatly depends on how big the die chip is. The other thing I always look for is the NQ's error down here on the E and the C, which I haven't found a good one in a good long while, but I always check for it. And last but not least, I used to find lots and lots of these, and since coin roll hunting has kind of exploded over the last year or two, they're harder to find. But this is the die chip up here on Washington's hat, and again, I've talked about this in the past. What you're really looking for is the big full crown error where the die chip covers from rim to rim. When those were first found, they were worth 60, 70, 80 bucks, and I think they've settled in kind of between, I want to say like 25 and 50, but again, I'll put some comps on the screen at the end of the video. The other thing I'm always on the lookout for is the DDR, where we've got some doubling down here in the cuff, but unfortunately we don't have that on this particular coin, but not a bad first 10 rolls. I won't bring you in for any more of these particular errors. I'll bring you in if we find some other ones. And like I said, I'm not going to bring in for this kind of stuff either because it's just stuff that might be upgrades to my album. So with that, let's go ahead and start getting back into these rolls of quarters. So bringing you in here for rolls 19 and 20. Actually, the important roll is number 19, and we have a 2022 Philadelphia. This is the Anime Wong, and I did a video on these when they first came out about a bunch of the little die chip errors and things that I found. It's actually one of my best performing videos on the channel for long form content, and I'll put a, if I remember, I'll put a card in the upper right hand corner. If you haven't seen it, it's probably worth checking out. But this is a new die chip, or a series of die chips that I've never seen before. If you go back to that video that I created, I found a bunch that had die chips in this A and this A, and maybe if I remember down on like the N. But you can see here we've got a huge chunk of metal between the M and the A in May, and a really big chunk of metal here before the W and the O and Wong. And I have never found this one before, so it's not the best looking quarter. As you can see, we got a little dirt and grime on it. Some Easy Est will probably take that off, but kind of excited to find this one because it's something I've never seen before. And I'll check at the end of the video on eBay if there's anybody else that has sold one like this on eBay to see what it is worth. Same roll, actually just a couple, 3 or 4 coins later. It's not this one. I've actually already got it under the scope. This is the 2016 Philadelphia Harper's Ferry, and we have found a DDR in the windows. You can see a little bit there, but the big one is right here, this extra pane that goes right up the middle of that window. I've gone ahead and pulled out my Strike It Rich with Pocket Change book, and even in here they say that somewhere on here, I think it's actually on maybe another page, I can't remember, but they talk about there being lots and lots of versions of these. They're saying in circulated condition, $3 to $5, uncirculated, $12 to $20. I don't know how accurate that is based on today's eBay listings, but it's probably not too far off. I found this book is pretty accurate, but it's a great book. If you don't have one, I suggest you look into it. Bringing you in here, roll 49, about 3/4 of the way through. We've got a 2012 Alaska, a DDR that a lot of people don't know about, so I did want to show that to you. Quick preview. We've got a lot to talk about in the wrap-up, and I'm going to try to get through it quickly here as soon as we get through these last 2 rolls. But if we have a look here on the back of this little, I think it's an elk, his neck, we've got a little bit of doubling right here in the neck. And a lot of people don't know about this one, and I did go ahead and pull up my Strike It Rich with Pocket Change book. Here we are on the 2012 Philadelphia, Alaska, and right here you can see that little bit of extra metal, or that second neck on the, what do they say it is? It's a double neck on well, protruding to the east. They don't even say what kind of animal it is. I'm going to guess it's some sort of elk or ram or something like that. But here in circulated condition, $10 to $15, uncirculated $25 to $35, so not a bad little find. Okay, well, we're through the box, and we have a ton of stuff to get through, and I'm going to go through at a high level, sort of the groupings. Then I'm going to sort through these for the stuff I'm going to keep, and we'll go through it really quickly together. But over here, we have our bicentennials. We had 11 Denver bicentennials, no DDO found, still on the hunt. We had 21 Philadelphias. We'll keep a couple of the nice ones. The rest will go back. We hung on to all of our 2009s, 10s, 11s, and 12s, and we have those in front of you. I'm going to hang on to all of these, but I'll bring you back in and we'll pay special attention to anything that will be a book upgrade, because I've already filled 2 series of the 2000, I think it's the 2000 through 2009 state books. So we'll be sure to bring you in and show you the ones that'll be book replacements. Up here, we have all of our little die chip and little error coins that we went over a lot of them throughout the hunt. As you can see here, we've got a bunch of the Marietta Chiefs. I'll pick out the nicer ones. Probably a lot of the rest will go back, because as you can see, they're pretty easy to find. Over here, this is all the new 2024 women's quarters. Again, I'm going to go through these and just pull a couple of the nice ones and just show you the ones that are going to go in the books as either fillers or upgrades. And over here, we got a bunch of stunners, and I'm going to go through these to see if any of these upgrade our books. But basically on the table here, we've got about $40 worth of quarters that we were able to pull from this hunt, which is a tremendous amount of things that are at least interesting for me, even though a lot of them were duplicates, like this new 2024 filly here, the Reverend Dr. Paulie, I don't know how you pronounce that, Murray, there it is. I thought it was Muppy. They were all Denvers, not a single filly in there, which is really, really weird. So obviously not going to hang on to all of those. So let me get this sorted. I'll bring you back in and we'll go through the individual book upgrades and the stuff I'm going to keep. So I've done a little cleanup, but I want to start with the values on these little die chip errors and die crack errors, so you get an idea of why we hunt for these and why maybe you shouldn't, because some of these are not really worth all that much money, but they're still kind of fun to find. So starting up here with the 2016 Harper's Ferry with the DDR in the windows, I found one on eBay that sold recently for 60 cents, plus a little bit of money for shipping, and there weren't a whole lot of them for sale. So this is one that maybe if you find a nice BU one, may be worth hunting for. The Man Killer, I believe that's a 2022 filly we have there. It is in really good condition on eBay. They were going for anywhere from about $1 to $4. And a few of these I will throw eBay comps on the screen just to show you they are recent sales. The 2012, it's the 2012 Denali DDR. There was only one recent sale, and it was a or best offer, but it was less, so it's going to be less than $15. And I did post the eBay auction on that one. So this one, it's kind of tough to find, and a lot of people don't know about it. Now, mine's not in great shape. We got a lot of gunk on the quarter, but this one's always kind of fun to find when you get one. I've only found a couple ever. The Anime Wong, I found one that has almost the exact same die chips on it. That was it sold for $9.95, which I thought was really, really high. The Tall Chiefs, as you saw from earlier in the video, I found a ton of these, but was surprised to see they were typically selling for about $1.25 to $2, considering how easy they are to find. The Eleanor Roosevelt with the die crack, recent sale for $2.50. We have the Bessie Coleman. Now, this die chip error is a little bit all over the place. In recent sales, they started at around $2, $2.25, and went up from there. Some of the ones just in the last few days sold for $6. Now, I'm not going to say I would get that for this one. It's a pretty small die chip, but it's actually in decent shape, I guess. A little easiest would probably clean up the front a little bit. But if you can find one in BU shape, I think like $2-3 is pretty easy to get. And, of course, the Crossing the Delaware. For ones with this little tiny die chip on the hat, they were going for $1 to $3. Now, I did see a recent sale for the full crown that was as low as $31, which I thought was pretty crazy. But still, $31 for a quarter in your pocket change is not so bad. Well, what I want to do real quick is I have sorted through all the rest of it, and I'm going to go through really quickly, and we're going to punch down coins that were either upgrades or whole fillers in our books. So first off, we whittled down all those bicentennials to, I'm keeping 4 of the Denvers, and it looks like about 5 or so of the Phillies. And I did have a really nice 1972 Denver that will be an upgrade for the book, and a pretty decent bicentennial Denver that will be an upgrade for this quarter book here. I'm not going to punch these down because it's a little, I'll have to fumble around with it to get it in and out on camera here. But this 72 Denver is slightly better. And again, our 1976 Denver, or was it? Yeah, it was the Denver, was also slightly nicer than the one we had in here. But just to show you guys, I have 2 sets of these, and both are complete. There are a lot of possible upgrades because not all of these are BU, but we do have the entire book filled. So let's move on to the next one. So next we went through those 2009s to 2012s. Now here's all the, I'll call them rejects. I'm going to hang on to them, but this was the tall stack of 2010s, 11s, and 12s that aren't going to be upgrades. And here are all the 2009s. None of them were upgrades for our book, but I will hang on to all of those because they were really low mintage and they're pretty hard to find. Now the rest of these are all going to be upgrades to our Warman State Quarter Deluxe book. I'm going to open that for you here in just a second, but we got a 2007 Denver. We had a 2004 Florida. Sorry, it's a Denver, Wyoming. And here we've got a Denver, Florida. And on this one, it is an Ohio, but it is also a Denver. I thought it was Philly, but that's okay. We've got ourselves a really nice Denver here. Now, I'm, again, not going to punch these down because it takes a little bit of doing to get these things out, and you also don't want to be popping too many coins in and out. So if they're not pretty decent upgrades, I didn't bother. But what I like about this book is that it has every year, so you can see here 2000, 2001, you have your Phillies and your Denvers. So, you know, here is the entire book just to give you guys a look-see at it. It is complete, and it's quite a big book. I'm making a mess over here. But there it all is. And like I said, I've got 3 upgrades for this book. I'll go ahead and pop those in off camera, and we'll move on to the next one. So moving on to our National Park Quarters, we did have a set, actually, of the 2011. This one is the Mississippi. We had a Philly and a Denver that are both going to upgrade my book. Here's that Denver if you want to see it. And we had a 2012 New Mexico. Now, none of these 3 are in necessarily BU or fantastic shape. They just happen to be upgrades for this book. And this National Park Collectors folder I like because it does Philly and Denver. It has all the years from 2010 to 2021. And what I like about it is this half of the book is all Phillies. And the other half of the book is all Denver. So you'll see over here on the side it says Philadelphia. And the guy we're upgrading is this one right here. Now the Philly's only a slight upgrade. I know the lighting's not great, but I'm just trying to get through this pretty quickly. The Denver actually had a lot of mucky marks on it and stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and get that upgraded so it'll look a little bit nicer. But here is the Denver side of the book all the way down to 2021. And of course, here's page 1 of Denver. And I do really, really enjoy this album. And it's not too hard to punch the coins down into this particular book. Some of them, they can be pretty tough to punch in, but this one's kind of foam-like, so they pop in really, really easily. And last but not least, we have our American Women's Quarters books. And as I said, I'm doing 2 sets of these because I have 2 kids, so I'm trying to make complete sets for them. And so far, I have been able to find all of the Philadelphia and Denvers up through, I think, 2023. Let me see if I can get this open. Actually, that's not completely true. The Jovita Edar, I'm missing the Denver. And I think the Tall Chief, I'm missing the Denver. And, of course, any of the new 2024s, I'm missing some of those as well, especially the Phillies and the Denvers for the newer stuff. So with the Edars, I did get 2 Denvers, so we're going to fill out both books. I've got an upgrade on one of them for the Bessie Coleman. I don't know if it's this book or the other one, but it's either a Philly or a Denver, and it's just nicer than what I have in the book. As for this one, which is the Patsy Takamoto, I have, obviously, book fillers that are Denvers for both books. And this Hope coin, right, the Reverend Dr. Paulie Murray, all I found was Denvers of these, so we're going to go ahead and plug this in as well. Now, I did go ahead, I pulled a couple 4 or 5 of each of the newer coins extra just because they're really nice BU versions, so I'm going to grab those and hang on to those for a little bit. As I did, I had 2 decent Philly Jovita Edar, so I'm going to hang on to those as well. So let me get these punched down into the book, and we'll call it a video. All right, everybody, that does it for this video. We've got everything punched down. We're going to roll up some of the other stuff that we found, but this was a lot of fun. It's been a good long while since I've hunted a full box of quarters, and this just reminded me how much fun they are because there's just so much to look for, and at least in the Southeast, you find a lot because we get a lot of coins from the Philly Mint, and the Philly Mint is just rife with errors. I know I hear from some of you over on the West Coast, and the Denver quarters are just not as much fun to hunt because there's very few errors in the Denvers, or at least in the more modern coins. So apologies to you guys if that's what it is like for you. But if you're on the East Coast, maybe in Central America, Central North America, Central USA, the Philadelphia quarters are a lot of fun to hunt. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop on down below, click that like button, and leave me a comment. If you're new to the channel and you like coin roll hunts, make sure you click on that subscribe button, then click on that little bell and select all so you get notified each and every time I drop a new video. And I will have a card at the end of the screen if you'd like to go back to the very beginning and watch me fill these books completely from coin roll hunting. That'll be at the end of the video. Special shout out to all my channel members. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel each and every month. If you want to learn more about memberships, there is a join button in the description down below this video, so make sure you click on that. So with that, I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope if you're in, Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, Florida, I hope you guys are recovering from the hurricane. I know it's terrible, and another one is making landfall as I film this. So I hope you guys all stay safe. I hope everybody does okay. And, they always say thoughts and prayers with you. I don't know if that means anything to anybody, but you're in our thoughts, and I hope you guys make it out okay. So with that, take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.